Tonight we're diving into a story so unbelievable you'd think it was ripped from the pages of a dystopian novel. It's a tale of power, intrigue, and unexpected twists that could have far-reaching implications for all of us. It involves Elon Musk, the US Treasury, and a whole lot of your hard-earned tax dollars. Yes, you heard that right. The tech mogul and the federal institution responsible for managing the nation's finances are at the center of this unfolding drama. David Lebryk, the highest-ranking career official at the Treasury Department, resigned. This isn't just another bureaucrat stepping down. Lebryk has been a cornerstone of the Treasury for years, making his sudden departure all the more shocking. That's not usually headline news, but this wasn't just any resignation. It was a resignation that sent shockwaves through the corridors of power and raised eyebrows across the nation. But this wasn't just any resignation. Lebryk's departure was abrupt and came with a cloud of mystery and speculation. What could have driven such a dedicated public servant to leave his post so suddenly? Lebryk didn't leave for a cushy job at a bank. He didn't retire to spend more time with his family or to pursue personal interests. No, his resignation was far from ordinary. He left because of a fight that has been brewing behind closed doors away from the public eye. A fight that is now spilled into the open, demanding our attention. A fight with Elon Musk and his allies. Yes, the billionaire entrepreneur known for his ventures in space, electric cars, and renewable energy is now entangled in a battle with the US Treasury. Why would the Treasury and Elon Musk be fighting? What could possibly be at stake in this high-stakes confrontation? The answer lies in the very heart of our financial system. It all comes down to control. Control over the mechanisms that govern our economy, control over the flow of money, and ultimately, control over power itself. Control of the very system that handles trillions of dollars in government payments. This is not just about money, it's about influence, authority, and the future direction of our nation's financial policies. Lebryk's resignation is a huge red flag. It signals that something is deeply amiss within the Treasury Department, something that could have serious repercussions for all of us. It suggests something is rotten in the state of the US Treasury. The very institution that should be safeguarding our financial stability is now under a cloud of suspicion and uncertainty. And it's up to us to find out what's going on. We need to dig deeper, ask the tough questions, and hold those in power accountable. Stay tuned as we unravel this complex and riveting story. So, what exactly did Elon and his buddies want with the Treasury? They wanted access. But not just any access. Access to the federal payment systems. These systems are the backbone of the nation's financial infrastructure. They handle everything from tax refunds to Social Security payments. Essentially, these systems are the pipelines for your tax dollars. They distribute about $6 trillion every year. That's a staggering amount of money flowing through these channels. That's trillion with a T. Imagine the influence one could wield with access to such a system. Now you might be thinking, Elon Musk, the Tesla guy, the SpaceX visionary, what does he want with government money? Why would someone already so wealthy and influential need more control? Well, it turns out Elon has some ideas. Big ideas about how the government should be run. These ideas aren't just about efficiency, they're about a radical transformation of how public funds are managed. And those ideas involve a lot less spending. Musk believes that the government is bloated and inefficient. Musk's team, called the Department of Government Efficiency, catchy, right, is now embedded in the Treasury. They claim they're there to make things more efficient. They say their goal is to streamline operations, cut unnecessary costs, and bring a tech-driven approach to government finance. But some people are worried. Critics argue that Musk's approach could lead to significant cuts in essential services. They're worried that Musk and his team might use their newfound power to push their own agenda, an agenda that might prioritize corporate interests over public welfare. The debate is heating up, and the stakes are incredibly high. Will Musk's vision for a leaner, more efficient government prevail, or will the concerns of those who fear the loss of vital services win out? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Elon Musk's foray into government finance is shaking things up in a big way. Now let's talk about these payment systems. They're kind of a big deal. Think of them as the circulatory system of the US government. They pump money to every corner of the country, funding everything from Social Security checks to highway construction. Without these systems, the government would grind to a halt. No Medicare, no military salaries, no national parks. It would be chaos. So, yeah, you could say these payment systems are pretty important. And now, Elon Musk has his finger on the pulse of this massive financial network, a network that impacts the lives of every single American. So, what could go wrong with Elon Musk in charge of trillions of dollars? Well, quite a lot actually. For starters, he's made it clear that he wants to cut government spending. A lot. This isn't just a minor trim here and there. We're talking about significant reductions that could reshape the very fabric of our society. He's talked about slashing funding for essential programs like Medicaid, Meals on Wheels, and even education. These are services that millions of Americans rely on every day. Basically, anything that doesn't involve launching rockets into space seems to be on the chopping block. While space exploration is exciting, it shouldn't come at the expense of basic human needs. Now imagine if he had the power to actually make those cuts. The implications are staggering. To simply turn off the tap on programs he doesn't like would be devastating. Community centers could close, government offices could become ghost towns, and the social safety net could unravel. Millions of people rely on these programs. We're talking about the most vulnerable members of our society, those who can't afford to lose this support. People who depend on the government for healthcare, food, and education. These are not luxuries, they are necessities. But it's not just about cutting programs. The potential for misuse of funds extends far beyond that. Musk could also use his control over the payment systems to reward his friends and punish his enemies. Imagine a world where financial decisions are made based on personal vendettas rather than public good. He could steer contracts to companies he likes, giving them an unfair advantage and stifling competition. This could lead to a monopolistic environment where only a few companies thrive while others struggle to survive. He could delay or even block payments to organizations he disagrees with, effectively silencing dissent and controlling the narrative. The consequences of such actions would be far-reaching and deeply troubling. Now, you might be thinking, surely there are safeguards in place to prevent this kind of abuse? And you'd be right, there are supposed to be. But those safeguards are starting to look a little flimsy. For example, Congress is supposed to have oversight over government spending, but let's be honest, Congress isn't exactly known for its efficiency or its spine these days, especially when it comes to standing up to powerful billionaires. Then there are the courts. They can intervene if they suspect wrongdoing, but legal challenges take time. Time that many people who rely on government programs simply don't have. This whole situation highlights a much bigger problem: the erosion of checks and balances in our government. These checks and balances, like the separation of powers and the rule of law, are supposed to prevent any one person or group from having too much power. But lately, those checks and balances have been failing. We've seen it with the attacks on the media, the judiciary, and even the electoral process itself. And now, we're seeing it with Elon Musk's foray into the US Treasury. When these safeguards crumble, it creates an environment where corruption can thrive, where the powerful can act with impunity, and the vulnerable are left to fend for themselves. So, what can we do about it? Well, the first step is to shine a light on what's happening. We need to demand transparency from our elected officials. We need to know how these decisions are being made and who's benefiting from them. We also need to hold people accountable. If there's been wrongdoing, those responsible need to be held to account. Whether it's through congressional investigations, legal action, or simply the court of public opinion. This isn't about left versus right. It's about right versus wrong. It's about protecting our democracy and ensuring that our government serves the people, not the special interests. So I'm asking you to do something. Don't let this story fade into the background noise. Talk to your friends, your family, your neighbors. Contact your elected officials, raise your voice, and demand better. Because if we don't, we risk waking up one day in a country where a handful of billionaires call the shots, and the rest of us are left to pick up the pieces. And on that cheery note, I'll leave you with this thought. If you're looking for a sign that the apocalypse is near, it might just be Elon Musk controlling the US Treasury.